a shocking revelation that has rocked the American Midwest, federal prosecutors have uncovered what they are calling a national poster child for industrial-scale fraud. Imagine nearly $9 billion simply vanishing from the public coffer. This is not just a story of paperwork errors or small-time theft. It is a calculated, systematic draining of resources intended for the most vulnerable members of society. In Minnesota, a massive investigation has revealed that as much as half of the $18 billion spent on 14 high-risk state programs since 2018 may have been stolen by sophisticated criminal networks. This magnitude of corruption has put Governor Tim Walz in the crosshairs of intense national scrutiny as critics demand to know how such a staggering sum could disappear under his watch. The scale of this corruption is breathtaking, and the numbers tell a very specific story. Out of 92 defendants indicted in these major schemes, 82 are members of the Somali American community. These individuals are accused of exploiting pandemic food aid, autism therapy services, and housing stabilization programs. While the money was meant to feed hungry children and provide medical care to those in need, investigators have instead tracked the funds to luxury real estate in Turkey and Kenya, high-end cars, and private villas in the Maldives. This is not just a local issue. It has become what officials call fraud tourism, with people traveling from as far away as Pennsylvania specifically to exploit Minnesota's perceived lack of oversight. The political fallout has reached the highest levels of American business and government. Elon Musk, who led the Department of Government Efficiency, has been vocal in his condemnation. He pointed specifically to a viral investigation of an empty daycare center that received $4 million despite having a misspelled sign and no children in sight. Musk did not mince words when addressing the lack of oversight, stating, "Why did they still receive funding and keep their license after so many violations and Zoolander-level obvious fraud? Prosecute Governor Tim Walz. He knew." This sentiment is echoed by others who argue that the state's leadership was at best negligent. They point to reports from state employees who claim they tried to blow the whistle on the fraud early on, only to face silence from the administration. The pressure continues to mount as high-profile figures like Vice President J.D. Vance argue that this is a microcosm of a larger systemic failure. Vance has been critical of the oversight during Walz's tenure, stating that Governor Walz sat idly by while billions were stolen from hardworking Minnesotans. He further commented that welfare cheats like it because they get rich, but it is a zero-sum game, and they are stealing both money and political power from Minnesotans. These statements highlight a deep divide between state officials claiming they are solving the problem and national figures who believe the corruption has rotted the system to its core. The consequences of this theft extend far beyond the state budget, creating a hidden fraud tax that you are paying for every single month. When billions are siphoned out of the healthcare and social service systems, the entire financial ecosystem is destabilized. In the insurance industry, this level of systemic fraud forces companies to hike premiums for honest policyholders to compensate for the massive losses and the increased cost of fraud prevention. Every time a fraudulent provider bills for a service that never happened, it drives up the cost of care and coverage for everyone else. Whether you realize it or not, these crimes are a direct financial blow to your wallet. Insurance is built on the concept of shared risk, but when that risk is artificially inflated by industrial-scale theft, the burden of those stolen billions is shifted directly onto the consumer. Despite the intense political fallout, federal authorities maintain that the primary motive was pure, unmitigated greed rather than funding international conflict. While there were initial fears that this money might be reaching militant groups like Al-Shabaab, investigators in late 2025 confirmed that the trail leads almost exclusively to personal luxury and international investments. As the FBI surges resources into Minnesota to dismantle what is left of these networks, the case serves as a grim reminder of how easily public trust can be weaponized against the taxpayers who fund it. The eyes of the nation remain on Minnesota, waiting to see if accountability will finally reach the offices where this oversight failed so spectacularly.